Hey, beautiful Capricorn. Welcome to your tarot and oracle card reading for November. God, Spirit, Universe, please bring truth, clarity, and wisdom to this reading for the Capricorn family and help Capricorn navigate to their highest and most blessed timeline. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. What's coming in for Capricorn in November? All right. Capricorn. So for some of you beautiful Capricorns, there is love. There is love for sure. If that's what you're looking for, there's a potential for that. We're going to get clarifiers for these cards, but I mean, you do have the Lovers, the Empress, and the King of Wands coming up. So, and the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, you start with the Four of Wands and you go to the Lovers. And the Four of Wands is like a commitment and grounding your energy. You know, your wands are your fire and your passion and your body and how you use your body, how you work and move. And usually they're flying through the air, or they're being carried, or they're being used for something. You know, and the Four of Wands is when you ground them and plant them and they take root. So you're committing to a person, place, or thing, right? Which is why a lot of times it's considered a marriage card. And here in the Lovers card, you're literally handfasting or getting married, right? It doesn't just have to be a marriage card though. This is a commitment card. So it can be buying a house. You're committing to a place, you know. It could be getting a promotion or a new job. You know, you're committing to a system or a career, that kind of thing as well. But it's very beautiful energy. It's like super, when you ground your energy and decide on a direction to go in, it's a very optimistic time for you. And it is cause for celebration, you know? And so it feels like there's definitely a strong celebration here for you. And then you have the Lovers card, that you're being blessed, the angel overhead. For a lot of you, this is making a choice too. This is being at a crossroads. And what direction am I going to go in? And we'll get clarifiers to see what your advice might be. But it just feels like for a lot of you, you're going in a direction of uncertainty or something new, because you have the Moon card coming out next, where, you know, it's dark, hidden, unfamiliar, even scary. Like there could be fear involved, not, you know, crippling fear, but apprehension, you know. And if this is a wedding, it's like getting cold feet type of thing. You know, what does the future hold? That kind of thing, right? And also honeymoon, you know, it really feels like a lot of Capricorns are getting married in November, I feel. Or there could be people in your realm that are getting married, or just making a strong commitment, you know. And also with the Lovers, it is a crossroads and you do have a choice. And usually you would choose the road less traveled. And you have the Moon here. Again, this is representative of a dark path going through the dark forest, you know, an unfamiliar path, an unfamiliar road. I really feel like you are moving on up. You know, there's a strong moving up energy. Both of these cards have a path that lead to the mountains, right? This one is either a mountain or a pyramid. And these are mountains in the distance, right? A path of ascension, you know, and that's definitely what I'm getting for you, Capricorn, moving up in some way, you know. And with the Moon at the center of your reading, there is, this is a full moon. So it's bringing light to something that was hidden before. And it's oftentimes it's something within you that's been hidden. You know, something that you haven't looked at in yourself, doing shadow work for a lot of you. It's repressed feelings, repressed memories as well. You know, things coming up from the depth, that crustacean coming up from the depth into the light. When you bring something into the light, you can see yourself more clearly and you understand why you do things and why you see things that way. And that will instantaneously make you do them differently or see them differently. So it's like instantaneous healing in your life in some way, like part of your life could be healed as well, you know, overcoming an addiction, like that kind of thing. And then you have the King of Wands, which is very passionate energy, and the Empress, very fertile, pregnant with possibilities energy as well. The King of Wands, all the kings are masters, and the wands, like I talked about before, is your fire energy. It's how you use your body. It's how you do things. So it's mastering your fire, mastering your passions, and becoming powerful in that way, wielding your fire with authority. Becoming the boss for a lot of you, becoming the boss or bossing up in your life. And the Empress is creating, you're creating something, you're bringing something into this world. You're giving birth to, if not a child, a baby, a family. It could be a home. It could be a business. It could be something small, a book, a blog, some type of content, some type of something for work, maybe, like some kind of system. Like, we'll get clarifiers. We'll see what this is. But you are birthing something into existence, and it's going to make the world a better place. And there's a lot, this is the bottom of the deck, a lot of momentum for you this month, Capricorn. Like, things are going to happen for you rather quickly, So that's exciting. The Eight of Wands is things have been set in motion already, so there's no stopping them. And this could be getting news fast too, like information, your intentions, like intentions that you have set coming to fruition quickly as well. All right. So what do we have for beautiful Capricorn for November? Thank you, Spirit. So clarifying the Four of Wands, you have Judgment. And this is a phoenix. So this is phoenix energy. You have changed. You are changed, right? And because of who you have become, you are now ready to commit to this thing. You're ready to ground this thing into reality, into your life. And also, for some of you, by making this commitment or grounding your energy, you will be changed. But this is truly, ultimately, a calling. Like, this is, you can't resist the blowing the trumpet of Archangel Gabriel. When Archangel Gabriel blows his horn, people come out of the grave. They can't resist it, right? So you have no choice in the matter here, right? This is happening because of divine timing, and because this is your destiny, right? There is destiny here, for sure. And then you have the King of Discs. So it's another king, another mastery energy. And this is like Midas touch energy as well with the Lover's card. And I'll tell you, the King of Discs is, if you can tell by the image, very passionate. King of Discs is sensual, likes the taste, wants the taste of that apple, This is interesting. The Lovers is Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And you can see that because you have the apple tree here, right? So you have the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and perhaps the tree of life, right? This is the crossroads. This is your choice, right? What did they choose? They chose what other people wouldn't want for them, but they chose what was right for them. They chose their authentic truth. And in so doing, they were blessed. A lot of people see them as being expelled from the garden, but when they look back, they wouldn't have had it any other way. This was inevitable for them. This was divinely orchestrated. This was their destiny, right? And in so doing, you could argue that they created the physical universe, the physical world. Like, this is very Gnostic, right? But here's the King of Discs eating that apple. So it's choosing the tree of knowledge, right? Choosing to look at something, to accept something, to absorb certain knowledge that maybe you were blind to before or refused to look at before, for some of you. And for others of you, it's choosing the choice that other people wouldn't want for you, other people wouldn't choose for you. And the result of that could be you get kicked out of your house, you get expelled from school, you get disowned by your parents, broken up with, fired from your job, something like that, that could leave you in a Five of Pentacles energy, like feeling out in the cold in some way. But on the first step of your truth, the first step of your authentic truth. Like taking the red pill in the matrix is literally what this is, the red pill in the matrix, and waking up to the true, you know. So we'll get more clarifiers for these cards, but I just, like, that's so interesting. Okay. And then, and the reason that it could get you expelled from school or kicked out or disowned or broken up with or something like that is because people want you to validate their reality. People want you, you know, if they feel insecure in their reality and in the back of their head, they know there's something amiss here, right? But there's none so blind as she or he who will not see. So they put on the blinders and they stay focused and they distract themselves with this and that. And they just do what they're supposed to do. I've been there, right? And you come along and you're like, hey, you know, we live in a matrix. Take this red pill. You'll see things very different. Like what you're eating isn't actually a steak, or, you know, whatever it is, you know, they will reject that out of hand if it threatens their version of reality, no matter who you are to them, you know. Their version of reality is more important to them sometimes than even their beloved, even their child, even their, you know, longtime employee, student, friend, neighbor, whatever. So, you know, just to understand where they're coming from, and it's just a side note, and it's very specific, beautiful Capricorn, but I had to say it. Okay. Then you have the Moon card with the Hanged Man. And the Moon card is like uncertainty, fears, darkness, things coming to light, right? And that subconscious coming to light, right? And then you have the Hanged Man, something uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable position to be the Hanged Man. But when you do it, you become enlightened. There's enlightenment here, you know? This is literally enlightenment coming in for you, Capricorn. I just feel this. And really, that could be what the red pill is, the enlightenment, you know? So I don't know. The Hanged Man also for a lot of us is the need to, and if you can see, he's got red marks on both his hands. The Hanged Man hangs on a tree. And that is another representation of the crucifixion, right? And so it is a sacrifice, the need to sacrifice something in your life or in yourself, you know, a need to surrender something as well. And when you do that, you gain so much more. This is the All-Father Odin on the world tree, who hung upside down for 3 days to gain the secret of the runes that helped him change his destiny. You know, again, we have that reverberation of destiny, right? So this is big energy for you, Capricorn. And I mean, I gotta say, this is like really deep that we're doing this, but that's what I'm getting. You know, you're changing your destiny, I feel, through becoming enlightened, through choosing to know, through choosing to see. Okay. And then King of Wands clarified with the 9 of Discs. So the King of Wands is that mastering of your fire and embodying your fire fully, you know, being the master of your life. And the 9 of Discs is embossing up, becoming the boss. And the 9 of Discs is like being an entrepreneur in business for yourself. It's being self-sufficient, growing your own garden, not relying on other people so much, you know, knowing that I can do with less as long as I am being authentic in my life. And there is a great harvest, though. You know, the 9 of Discs is a beautiful harvest. You have the 9 of Discs with the Empress. You know, this is like you could be reaping some awesome harvest in November. Okay. But I'll say this with the 9 of Discs. This is like being alone in some ways, standing on your own in some ways too, right? Because the Hermit is the 9 of the major arcana. So all the 9s are a representation of Hermit energy. So that says maturity, wisdom, enlightenment, and standing alone in some way, right? And when you have Pentacles involved, your earth element, You know, that's densified manifest reality. I'm growing this thing on my own. I'm nurturing this thing into life on my own. I'm building wealth on my own for some of you, you know. And it doesn't have to mean all alone, but it just can be more independent than before, you know, which is literally becoming your own boss. Leaving a job to start your own business is one of the main ways that I would look at this, you know. And also, this Nine of Discs really looks a lot like the Magician, as above, so below, you know, pointing at the sky and thinking about what you want, and then pointing your finger down and seeing it manifest below you, you know, knowing that what you hold in your mind will eventually and ultimately manifest all around you, like mastering manifestation. You have the King of Discs, who is the master of manifestation right here. Heavy duty, major Midas touch. Okay. And then with the Empress, you have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is like really leaning on your intuition to make the wise choice. You know, it's a lot like the moon. It's a lot like the moon. Like the Seven of Cups is you have a choice. And with the cups also, it's you have a choice of how you feel about things. You have a choice of what to value. You have a choice of what to love. Again, you have a choice of what to love. Yeah? Choose wisely, because some of these choices are detrimental to your life. And so, you know, this is a word of caution, the Seven of Cups, to look within, you know. This is the dark wolf. And interestingly, this is the dark wolf on the moon card, right? He knows his way through the dark forest, and that's what the dark forest is. You know, it's hard to find your way, right? The dark wolf knows the way. So I just feel like it's like your intuition, your instincts are going to serve you very, very well this month. You need to unplug with the Hanged Man and to allow yourself to surrender and to be quiet and be still, you know. And also there is a period of waiting with the Hanged Man, like a waiting period, you know, like this is being in a chrysalis energy as well, you know. And with he even has the moon card, the moon right here. Like this is a very strong representation of the moon card. I can't believe how well these two cards go together, right? You will know when the time is right. You will know the way forward, but stay connected to your higher self, you know. And then you have the Ten of Discs at the bottom of the deck. This is a great harvest. I mean, this is a great harvest. Like something really good is coming for you, beautiful Capricorn. You know, and this is going to be different for each of you, where it's coming from, you know, what it's going to mean for you. But this is the culmination of your creation, you know, and the beginning of a new one. All tens lead back to the ace, right? The wheel continues to turn. So you're completing a cycle of manifestation, and then you're starting a new one. So in the old harvest, you have seeds that fall out, and you plant those seeds for the future, you know. And I really feel like you're going to see endings and beginnings here, you know, and fulfilling the fulfillment of promises, fulfilling a promise. Yeah. All right, Spirit, what else do we have for beautiful Capricorn? This is a great reading for November. Capricorn, November. Thank you, Spirit. Two more, please. Thank you. One more. All right. Beautiful. All right, I'm just going to say, the bottom of the deck, you have Queen of Pentacles. This is the divine counterpart to the King of Pentacles, right? You have the King of Discs here and the Queen of Discs here. And you have the Lover's card. So this definitely could be a love reading. But the Queen of Pentacles is a powerful creator. She is another representation of the Empress. You know, she's extremely fertile. You can see the bunnies there. She's creating the world as she goes. You're creating the world as you go. And she's focusing on that coin, like you're focusing on creating wealth, or a person, place, or thing, something physical, resources, something. And like you're really focused on that. And because of that, where focus goes, energy flows. You have that same energy here too. I'm just seeing it everywhere, It's beautiful. I love manifestation, Six of Swords clarifies Four of Wands. So this is a more peaceful, beautiful place like that you're going to. So by planting your energy, you're creating a more peaceful, beautiful place for yourself, or a more peaceful situation for yourself, away from the trauma and the drama of yesterday, away from the noise and away from who you once were, and spirit is mooring you to a better place, if that's the right word. Spirit is ushering you to those calmer waters, to an easier life, really. And then you have Nine of Wands and Page of Swords, clarifying the Lovers. Right? The Nine of Wands is like the wounded warrior, like you've been through it. The nines are very mature. They've definitely grown, right? They've seen a lot. And the Page of Swords is gaining a lot of information. It's like wisdom. It's like new information as well. Clarifying the Lovers. This is like a lot of work that you put into something. And a lot of information that you've received about something is making your choice easier, making you understand what it is that you value more, what road to choose in this crossroads. The Nine of Wands is one last push, one last effort towards something, like it can be pretty heavy. It can feel like a lot of work as well. There's a lot of work. And so, like, say, for instance, if this is a wedding, there's a lot of communication behind it, a lot of information, and a lot of work behind it, right? Whatever the choice is, though, there's a lot of effort that goes into this. And I would say with the Page of Swords also, like this is like not just receiving a lot of information, but sharing information. It goes both ways, right? So it's like really a lot of talking I'm getting, a lot of correspondences for some of you, just a heavy load in the area of communication as well. And then clarifying the Moon, you have Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles, again, is a new creation, a new direction that you're going into, planting your seeds for something new and feeling that, embodying that. Again, focusing on what you want to manifest, right? So by focusing on what you want to manifest, it's going to show you the direction to go in. And this period, the Hangman, because this is in the same row, is a gestation period of what it is that you're growing, right? It feels like the Moon is a cycle. Here you can see all the phases of the Moon. The Moon is a fast cycle, and you have Eight of Wands at the bottom of that deck. Excuse me, things unfolding quickly. And then you have the Hanged Man, that period of waiting, the Page of Pentacles. The period of waiting will be brief. Trust that it's coming. Like, if you're told, well, you have to wait until this happens, and then you get a notice that has happened, the following week or the next day, something like that, right? So really, really, things are unfolding more quickly than they seem like than they otherwise would. Not seem like they otherwise would. They're unfolding more quickly than they would. And then you have the King of Wands, clarified by the Four of Wands and the Two of Wands. So much passion, so much passion. Remember, you have the Nine of Discs in this row. So this is becoming your own boss, creating your own business. And again, that Four of Wands energy, commitment, making a commitment, grounding your energy. And the Two of Wands is a portal, an opening, a door opening. Like when one door closes, another door opens, and that's what I'm feeling. A door closed and another one opens. And then you have the Six of Cups. It's like inner child, or even your childhood, remembering who you were as a child, remembering what you loved as a child. And this could also be your child, like bringing a child into life or nurturing your child, because Empress is mother energy as well, right? So Six of Cups with the Empress card is like, again, creating out of love, growing out of love, helping to mature, raising whatever it is with the love of that you would have for your child, or what it is that you wanted to do or be when you were a child. So when you were a child, maybe you wanted to be a fireman, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I just remembered that. I had forgotten that. You know what I mean? Because the moon brings up those repressed memories too, right? And so does the Seven of Cups. So does the Seven of Cups, which is in the same row as the Six of Cups. So it's like your intuition, like your deep thoughts, your deep dreams, your deep subconscious coming to light. And the choice that the Seven of Cups gives you becomes easier or clearer in the light of your own inner child, or who you were as a child. You were closer to spirit when you were younger, because as you went to school and you experienced life, you forgot who you were over time. Here you remember who you were, right? So it's just a more authentic expression of beautiful Capricorn. And again, you have the Queen of Pentacles, that beautiful, fertile, potent energy, of whatever it is that you're creating. I mean, I love this for you, beautiful Capricorn. It's very, very similar to the Sagittarius's reading too, And of course, because these signs are right next to each other, and astrologically our houses blend into one another, So just an exciting time for you, that's for sure. Then you have air spirit, knowledge. And then you have, it reminds me very much of this energy. Like you're going to a more peaceful place with the Six of Swords, right? Knowledge, like understanding your wisdom, your hermit energy of wisdom and maturity is bringing you to that more peaceful place. I really feel like just a more peaceful energy for you than before. Then you have here's the change. Dragonfly spirit change. You're being changed. You have changed. The red pill will change anyone, right? And then you have bluebird spirit, happiness. I love that, the bluebird of happiness. When I was a little girl, there was a Shirley Temple movie where she was looking for the bluebird of happiness. And most people don't remember even who Shirley Temple is, and most people will never have seen that. But I remember this. She was always looking for the bluebird of happiness. It was so elusive, and it feels like happiness might have been elusive for you for a time. And now you've found it and you've grasped it and you're not letting it go. And I love it. And there's a unicorn down there, something really special about this, something rare and precious about this, All right, what else do we have for beautiful Capricorn? So nice. Then you have B, community. You are a powerful creator. We know this. Your work blesses everything you touch, Midas touch. Be open to receiving sweetness. You are the queen of abundance. I love it. Maybe there's help for you in the community. Maybe you're blessing the community. Maybe your community is growing, But bees work together. Bees are very, very beneficial for the world too. All of the product of bees, propolis, bee pollen, honey, all of those things are medicinal, and it just feels like you're blessing the world through your creations. So thank you so much, beautiful Capricorn, for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.